This is so interesting for me, Donna, because I believe that in Mexico, I don't know what is your opinion, for example, in other countries, in your experience internationally, but a lot of companies here in Mexico still work in a Taylorism way.
Yes.
So if companies want to switch in which, for example, the demands of work is not so mechanized, and you have to rely more on creativity and the essence of the people that makes them human, in which people needs to have to apply their judgment, their criteria. So what are what would be the first steps that a company would take in order to break or to shake some this structure, considering that the top management in many cases have this rigid way of thinking? So what would you do, or what would your recommendation to solve this or begin to solve this issue?
They're fabulous questions, and I actually am going to answer those and address those a little later in the section on organisations. But I will touch on a couple of points here, Roger, and that is, in the first instance, I don't believe that at this time in history that I think we need to shed mental models from the 50s. I think this has really been established in the 50s, entrenched in the 50s. But I think we've got to break those mental models because they don't belong now. However,
okay,
the mental model that I think is important in this part of the conversation is that it's no longer about the job owing you, and it's not about the employer owing you, and it's not about society owing you. I think that this time in history, it's up to human beings to be the representation of the change that they seek. So we could talk all day about rigid management, and we could talk all day about lack of agility, lack of flexibility, people that are myopic, who don't see the future or understand the changes, or are what's called amathic, which is willful blindness to change. There's a lot of that, the post-truth world. We have to deal with that. What's the answer? The answer is in with you. You can only control yourself. So in my view, it comes from you. You need every day to make that change. It can be small, but as you progress throughout your careers, it's all a line, you see. So at the moment, the boomers are in charge, and as they go off the assembly line, there's a new group of people. So as that new group of people, you could be establishing your own status quo, or you could be keeping the existing one. That's your choice. The future is yours to make that choice. And my hope is that for generations coming, that the changes that need to be made to make work more human and more value-based and more related to fulfillment and purpose becomes just a normal conversation, not something we talk about as though we hoped it would happen.
Okay, perfect.
And I'll cover some of the how you start a little bit later in the presentation.
Perfecto. Perfecto. Thank you. Thank you.